We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin.
On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this.
Our ceremonial sauce comes courtesy of Roger Dams of Burn Your Tongue, cleverly not so hidden in the Quilted Bear in the Newgate Mall in Ogden, Utah. We raise our flames to Roger. The hollowed shelves of Burn Your Tongue now hold over 700 sauces, making Burn Your Tongue one of the largest sauce purveyors anywhere. If you're a chili head, you must make the pilgrimage. You can also find Roger on Facebook at the link in the description below.
And what this is from HAB sauce, it is the smoked Habanero Cherrywood hot sauce. So this one, again, outstanding, cool artwork on it. I have no idea what this has to do with anything, but it's neat. Yeah, it's cool. Whatever it is. Definitely the most RT bottles, I think. Maybe either these guys or Silk City. All right, and we've got tomatillos, habaneros, which are obviously green habaneros, and the smoked varieties as well. A lot of that stuff is not making it into the description here, which is fine. We have white vinegar, garlic, water, and salt. Calling it medium hot. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I would call it a little bit more like the hotter side of low heat, but I don't know. I would say it's quite mild. But again, we're not basing this on my tolerance scale, obviously. I do really like that smoke flavor. That cherry wood makes a huge difference here. And if you like cherrywood smoked stuff, you know what you're in for. This is really quite good. Very fantastic. I wish they would do it. I wish they would have maybe not done it in a tomatillo sauce, though. That's the part I find a bit baffling. I don't eat a lot of green sauces as a rule. And I can't tell you the last time I don't remember anyway, the last time I had a hot sauce with tomatillos in it. There's restaurants, I do really like a good tomatillo sauce. This one, I would not say is that, despite that being the first ingredient, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. Beautiful color. It's a sort of yellowish green, kind of almost like maybe a lighter split pea soup. I think it looks really good. It's very, very good looking, like in terms of a tomatillo sauce, in my view. So let's get on into it, shall we? The smoke is a very strong flavor. Unquestionably. It sort of overruns, I feel like, the tomatillos a bit here, though. It is, if anything, that's why I kind of wish it would have been used in a sweet hot, because if anything, it is overly smoky. for this style of sauce. The other side is that I think I would have tried to balance this a little bit with a green chili sauce, or green chilies rather. It's got a decent amount of punchy heat up front, which sometimes you'll get with green habanero, sometimes you won't. These particular ones do. And I think that's amplified a bit by them being smoked. As is usually the case when you smoke chilies. That's what happens. You get an amplification effect of the piquancy. The spiciness. Chemically, I don't know why that's the case, if it actually increases capsaicin or not, but chipotles tend to have about twice the heat that does regular jalapenos, so maybe there is some sort of chemical reaction going on there. So Del Taco, as you've probably seen already, what I brought the bag over, got that. Now we've got that. So what are these things? This is a green bean burrito. This is a habanero crispy chicken taco. And this, so right now, I know Del Taco shows up an awful lot. And it's because they keep doing stuff like this. This is part of the crossover menu with Trejo's Tacos. It's their Al Pastor menu. This is the Al Pastor fries, and they did the fries in just about the worst way you could possibly come up with. And why is there cheddar cheese here instead of that? I wish they would have kept the nacho cheese instead of this. This is a minuscule amount of pork, though. So as far as the crossover goes here, these are pretty far from my favorite Al Pastor. I've had a lot of Al Pastor tacos in my time. And this is one of my least favorite versions. And I'm not saying it like they're bad or anything. I've had the quesadilla. I have not had the burrito. I've had the quesadilla. I've had the street tacos. And now I'm having this loaded fries from the Trejo's Tacos menu. So I've gone through it all, and it's fine. I'm just not super impressed by it. But I think, I think in 2024, Del Taco won the Best Fast Food Award, I think. And I will say they do a decent job with their regular menu, but sometimes they get some interesting specialties and collaborations and stuff. This one is a bust, as far as I'm concerned. It's way overpriced for what it is, but I do appreciate the novelty of it a little bit. All right, we'll go with the crispy chicken habanero taco. Here, the creaminess of that sauce works super well with that smoke. The smoke, I think, needs a little something to offset it. Added some much needed heat here. Well, I think this is primarily a Mexican style sauce. This one here, I think you could make some interesting marinades with it. Maybe carne asada, something like that you're going to be putting on the grill. I think it'd be really, really interesting.
Okay.
The bean burrito. So here's where I'm going to try it directly with an actual green sauce. And I think their green sauce is just fantastic. Usually I will not add stuff to these, but I'm interested to see what this does in conjunction with the green sauce, if it tempers it. There's also green sauce on this, worth noting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. The green sauce by itself, though, is just, it's really nice. It's one of those things that I've liked that sauce for a really long time. I think it's one of the better things in fast food. Generally, fast food, or if I get it, I have to doctor it. So when I was a lot younger, probably, well, not to date myself too much, but probably a good 4 decades or so back, I was staying with an uncle in Minnesota, and he had a wood burning stove in the basement. That was the furnace. And I've always kind of liked the smell of, the burning wood sort of smoke. It wasn't necessarily a pleasant time, I wouldn't say, but the smell of this sauce takes me back instantly to the smell of that furnace. Which I had to shovel ashes out of a lot. So it is tempered very nicely with this green chili sauce. I think I prefer the green chili sauce by itself, though. I think it has a really nice, really subtle flavor all by itself. And I think that sauce has improved this more than the hot sauce improved that sauce. Here, let's throw that in there too. Guess I didn't wrap up the ass end of this too well, did I? I mean, certainly this sauce is very literally named. You very much are getting a smoked cherrywood effect here. The habaneros and tomatillos, I think, go pretty well together. And there's a... I can't remember what I gave this for heat. I think I gave it a 1. I mean, I certainly don't dislike the sauce or anything. To me, it just... The singular smoke note is by far the most prominent thing here. And I think sometimes it works with the different foods I put it on, and sometimes it doesn't as much as I would like it to. I mean, I think a lot of Mexican style sauces, they have a certain roundness to them, a certain flexibility. A lot of the same ingredients that you might use to cook dishes. The smoked cherrywood habanero, green habanero at that. I could see it fitting in places like tamales, maybe with a green tamale or green enchilada sauce. So here we have this is a really puzzling collaboration or crossover or whatever. Maybe it's more meaningful in California and with actors and stuff, but I think Trejo's Tacos is a California place. I know Danny Trejo also has a line of hot sauce that I may get to at some point. I think maybe a hot honey also. This is, I mean, it just kind of came out of nowhere. I do like that about Del Taco, though. They have a strong core menu, and they're constantly tinkering. I can't think of any other Mexican style restaurant I've ever been to that has had birria ramen. Or ramen at all for that matter. Or noodles at all for that matter. That was another one I didn't think was bad per se, but I don't know who was asking for that. But I appreciate, I've said it a million times, I appreciate and admire that spirit of experimentalism. And for the most part, so their regular menu is usually fairly reasonably priced. And I think that's why they do so many different kinds of specials and stuff, because those are always more expensive. And somebody who's coming to, just get some tacos on Tuesday or whatever, they'll see that and go, oh, what the hell? Maybe I'll try it. There's also pineapple shakes that come with this. They don't come with it, but they're part of the crossover menu. Although I don't know if that's a Trejo's Taco thing or if that's just something Del Taco added. So these are fine. The green chili and the pineapple and the cilantro and the cheese and the pork with this bit of smokiness is all, I mean, it's all fine. Would I want to have it again? Probably not. It's fine for what it is. I've had Al Pastor tacos a few times over the course of this channel. And every time I've had it, it's been better than this. All right. So what can I say? Well, the more things you pair this with, I think probably the better off you're going to be. It is very forcefully smoke first. Probably about 60%, maybe 2/3 of the flavor here is very strongly of that smoked cherrywood. With the rest, the tomatillos are actually a little bit drowned out even by the flavor of the habanero. Personally, I like this sauce. I think this is a good sauce. I do enjoy it. However, that is a very, very forceful thing to have that note be as strongly upfronted as it is. I really, really think this would have been a more well-rounded sauce. Maybe this is what they're going for, I don't know, but I think it would have been a more well-rounded sauce had there been green chiles in there, like some Anaheims or something like that in there as well, to kind of temper it and soften it a little bit. The best thing I had this with was either that crispy chicken taco where it got to play off of the creamy sauce, or it was these fries where we had it playing off the cilantro, we had it playing off the pineapple, we had it playing off the cheese a little bit. There wasn't enough of the al pastor taco meat on there really to, I guess, kind of influence things too much one way or the other. And their crinkle cut fries are, I would never get them by themselves because I think they are arguably the worst in fast food, or at least one of them. They're one of the worst. Maybe Burger King might be a little bit worse than them, but I don't. Most of the time, their fries they're undercooked, and I'm not a big fry guy anyway, so I never get the fries unless they're loaded with something. But in this case, that combination, especially the freshness of the cilantro, which I could have used a lot more of, really, really played off this nicely. So you start thinking about maybe this could work really well in like a fish taco, where you've got some cabbage and other stuff to play off of generally. Maybe this is something where, like I said, you do some tamales or you add it into an enchilada sauce. This one, I think, is a sauce that by itself can be a bit hard to take, and I think it's better off if you're able to pair it with something so it can play off. Other than that, though, like I said, I really kind of appreciate the idea. I mean, the nostalgia bump is just kind of a thing that I noticed. It doesn't change anything one way or the other, but I do kind of appreciate that they went for this sort of thing. Like I said, it's a little bit too full tilt, I think, for me overall. You know, I like a little bit more balance in things, but I mean, you can see we're 3/5 of the way through this, and I have no qualms about knocking out the rest of this. There is another sauce I have in there. That is my sort of red Mexican style sauce. I might try to do a little bit of pairing with these things as well. So green sauce in general are just not my favorite thing. But I think this one came out pretty well if you consider it maybe as an ingredient as part of like a more component-based sort of dish. More complex and with more parts and more flavors, if that makes sense. But if you like just straightforward smoked habaneros, definitely this is absolutely well worth picking up because it is very strongly that. And that certainly is one of the more accurately named sauces I've had. No question about that. It's well blended. It's very smooth. I mean, there's a lot to like here. So coloration, I think it's super appetizing. And overall, my impressions of this are pretty fond. We'll just leave it there. So that was the HAB sauce, smoked Habanero Cherrywood hot sauce. Number 4. In peace. To serve the flame.